Hey everybody, Michael here from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review. Today we're going to focus on the Umarex T4E TP50. This is the Gen 2 version, and it's a CO2 paintball pistol. And this one's marketed as a tactical pistol, kind of a training pistol, and less as a home defense pistol. So you'd almost think that you'd want all black in home defense, but typically speaking, when you're doing home defense, less lethal, you kind of want to let people know, or at least the idea is to let people know it's not real and then blast away and hit them with some rubber balls, and then hopefully they decide that they're going to leave at that point. Some people might think that an all black gun would be scary looking, and hopefully that would just deter the people. So you decide what would be best. So what we have here is the TP50 and the HTP50. They're both Gen 2s. They both look identical other than the orange slide on the HTP50. It's basically marketing. Again, one is more for home defense, one is more for tactical training. Again, you decide, is black better or is orange better in either situation? I think they're kind of interchangeable. It's up to you. Now, I haven't done any field test shooting for the actual TP50, but I have done a bunch of tests on the HTP50. I've shot rubber ball, I've shot rubber steel ball, I've shot steel ball, and they all perform differently because of the different weights. The rubber balls got somewhere in the neighborhood of about 450 FPS. Close to 15 joules, between 13 and 15 joules. And then I got a little bit less performance out of the heavier steel rubber ball and steel ball, basically dropping down to closer to 11 joules for, I think, the rubber steel, and even as low as 7 joules for the steel ball. They were just a little too heavy for this gun, I think. But you can check out those videos if you want. I've already done those field test shooting videos for the HTP50. Let's get into some of the specifications. Again, this is a product from Umarex. It's called the T4E line, so training for engagement. It's manufactured and distributed by Umarex. Again, it's a compact .50 caliber paintball pistol designed for training, recreational, and less lethal shooting style applications. It uses .50 caliber rubber ball, paintball, powder ball, pepper ball, whatever you want to put in it, whatever you can get in your area. It should shoot it, and it uses a single 12-gram CO2 cartridge with a quick piercing CO2 system that allows you to keep the CO2 installed until it's ready for use. So you just basically give it a whack on the bottom and that activates the CO2 with a little pin that indicates that it's live and it's pressurized. That one's right at the back of the pistol. I'll show you when I do the walk around. Now it's a mostly polymer construction with some metal internal parts. So it's got a polymer frame, polymer slide, a metal barrel, and internal components. Now it has a double action trigger, but shoots in semi-auto, and it weighs approximately 1.5 pounds or 0.7 kilograms. The total length is 8 inches or 20.3 centimeters, and the inner barrel is about 4 inches or 10.2 centimeters. It does have a 6-round inline internal magazine, and the approximate velocity, at least the rating, is 465. And like I said, with the other version, the HTP, I got 450-ish. Using standard rubber balls. Now the claimed joules is 11, but I did get closer to 15 with the HDP version, so we'll see what happens when I do the field test shooting video. I will be just using rubber balls for that video. It does have an integrated trigger safety along with an underbarrel Picatinny rail for adding a tactical light or laser, and it does have fiber optic fixed front and rear sights. And again, this is the all black version, giving it a more tactical pistol look. So it does come in a cardboard box. It's a little different than the HDP box. It's blue. And it does say tactical pistol. So if you compare it to the HDP here, you'll notice that this one is marketed as home defense pistol, okay? So again, I'm not really sure what would be better, orange or black in either situation, but it's up to you. Getting back to the TP50, we do have some specifications here on the box. Velocity, 465 rubber powder balls comes with it, 6 shots. 12 grams CO2, okay, shows you the different balls it comes with. Okay, on the back, you've also got some more indicators. There's that little squeegee rod for cleaning the barrel out in case a paintball breaks in there, stuff like that. Also comes with a manual, okay? So I'm not gonna get into it, but it's just got all the basic stuff, you know, how to load it, trigger safety, how to load CO2, obviously, how to pressurize it, give it a whack, all that kind of stuff. Pretty straightforward. You do get 2 little tubes of 10 balls. So one of them is going to be this one here, which is the powder ball. Okay, so they're got that sort of 2 coloration. Rubber ball is going to be all black. Okay, because it's rubber. You can get rubber balls in different colors too, but usually they're all going to be black. 10 of each. Here's that squeegee, and I'm assuming the way this works is you just kind of push that in like that. Then you can get it down the barrel without it squeegeeing on the way in. Do that, and then squeegee all the goop out on the way out. So I'm assuming that's how it works. Probably says in the manual, but I haven't read through the whole thing. Now lastly, it is made in Taiwan, again distributed by Umarex. I mean, I could compare these two, but really the only thing to show you that's different is one has got an orange slide and one has a black slide. They have identical everything else, including the fiber optic sights, right? Everything's the same. So I just wanted to have this one here to show you the difference, talk about a little bit, like what is the difference, because I really didn't know when I first unboxed it. I wasn't sure what was going on here. You know, it's got such a different name. They could have just said the black version and the orange version, but nope, they want to have a different sort of theme and packaging and case use scenarios for each one. Let's do a walk around, because it is a nice looking gun. I'd say it's like a large SIG in terms of its size, but it's not overly thick. It's got that sort of almost 45, like 45, government 45 width to it. So it's a bit on the, I wouldn't call it narrow, but it's not thick by any means. But it is, you know, it is a bigger gun, 1.5 pounds. It doesn't weigh too, it's not too light, it's not too heavy. It feels good in the hand. You do have a metal trigger, by the way. You do have a safety on the trigger. The slide is plastic. The frame is plastic. Inner barrel's metal. You've got this part here, which is metal, and some metal internal parts, obviously, where all the CO2 goes. It's got to be strong. So it's all metal in there. By the way, when you put the CO2 in, you put it in butt first because the piercer is on this side. Okay, and then when you screw it back in, you screw it in fairly tight. Doesn't have to be crazy tight, but fairly tight, right until it stops. That allows you to give it this whack, which then pressurizes, and this pin here is going to pop out to show you that it's pressurized. So you don't need to do that until you're ready to shoot. So you can have all your ammunition, all your rubber ball in here. Okay, you load them through the bottom there. You can have all your rubber ball in there or whatever you put in there, all loaded up, give it a whack, and you're ready to go. You're ready to do some carnage. Okay, so you've got textured slide, front and back. Again, fiber optic sights, front and back. Trigger safety, textured grips, T4E branding, right? Strike, just to let you know, that's where you hit it. And there again is that little pin that pops out to let you know it's activated. Got a nice wide open barrel. All right. So let's get into some pros and the cons. Even though I just said it's a fairly decent sized gun, it's still on the smaller side when you compare it to other paintball pistols or home defense paintball, less lethal options out there. They can be pretty chunky at the end of the day. This one's not too bad. You do have that fiber optic front and rear sight, which makes it easy to sight in on pretty much any background you're shooting at, different lighting situations. And you're going to find a lot of different ammo types for .50 caliber ammo. You've got pretty much anything you want. Like I said, I found rubber ball, rubber steel ball, you got dust ball, you got pepper ball, depending on where you're located. So there's lots of ammo choices for your just different types of needs you might want it for. It does have that quick piercing CO2 system, which is very practical, allows you to load everything up, have it ready to go. All you need to do is give it a quick whack and you're ready to shoot. It's got pretty good power and a compact platform with that 11 joule rating, which I think we're going to get a little bit more out of, and around 450 FPS. It does hold 6 rounds in the internal magazine, which is a decent amount of ammo. 6 rounds hopefully does the job. And you do have a fairly decent double action trigger. It's not overly heavy, but it's going to be typical double action length and weight to it. And it's nice that it has a Picatinny rail, which makes it easy to add a tactical light or laser if you want to do that on yours. And the fact that it's all black makes it look more realistic if that's something you're going for or you want it to look like. All right, some cons. It still only holds 6 rounds before needing a reload. That's a bit on the light side because you're going to get more rounds per CO2 than 6. You're probably going to get about at least 3, maybe 4 reloads. So it'd be nice if it had a stick mag of some sort, but that's not the way this one's designed. And on that note, you're not going to get a lot of shots per CO2. Like I said, about 3 to 4 magazine reloads. So it's not the most efficient gun. That's not what it's really made for. If it was more efficient, you'd have less power, less energy downrange. And if you're using it for some sort of home defense situation, you want to have a little bit harder impact to let that person know they should be leaving. And I personally like the all black look, but there might be situations where you want to have the orange finish, the orange slide, just to let people know you're not trying to kill them. And that might be for legal reasons. Now in Canada, we are limited. We can't get pepper ball all that easy. I'm sure there's a way. Usually when there's a will, there is a way, but they're hard to find. So if you want to shoot pepper ball, because it could be more effective in some situations, then it's a little hard to find that. But we do have a lot of other ammo options we can use. All right, again, I wanted to mention we are selling this in our Canada Replica Airgun store over at replicairguns.ca. I'll put links in the description. Also put some links in the US to buy similar products or even these products in the US. If you're interested in air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, check out replicairguns.ca for Canada and replicairguns.us for the US. And we also have replicairguns.com where I have articles, post reviews, and additional information there for you to check out. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.